Hey everyone, welcome back to More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily productivity podcast. My name is Anna Angelova. I'm a business coach and consultant specializing in goal setting and productivity. And we're a little bit late today, like it's almost noon Eastern time here in Canada, but Saturday. And as usual, I have my co-host here with me, Joris Minusfand, and it's all his fault that we are late today.
I know, guilty as charged. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everyone. It's been one of those hectic weeks, and then the week ended with an emergency at the house with flooding, and you know how things work. So, anyways, hi everyone. Sorry about the delay. Hi Anna. Let's get back onto on track and get back into our episodes. Today's episode is a little bit different. What we're doing today is we're doing a weekly recap of some of the important takeaways that we had from the week from habits and routines that we talked all week long. And I think it's the best way to, finalize it and make it actually stick is to do a recap on what we talked about.
Yeah, and this gives you a chance. Like if you missed an episode, today we are summarizing some of the key takeaways and insight. So no worries. I highly recommend you go and listen to the episodes because we dove deeper into these topics. But even this one, if you listen just to this one, it's great. And if you actually already listened to the other episodes, reminders, right? Reinforcing the ideas. And most of the time, actually, when you think about it, we need the reminder, we need the reinforcement. It's not that we are learning something new. Most of the time, we actually are reminded of things we already know about.
Absolutely. So let's, without any more delays, let's dive right in. The first one, the first highlight of the week is, I think we just talked about it, was the 5 minute rule, the biggest game changer in productivity.
Yeah, this one is a big one. And I mentioned yesterday how much it helped me actually. So we talked about the 5 minute rule where you can trick your brain into action. And action is what actually makes a difference, right? And it's telling yourself, okay, I'll work on whatever task I'm procrastinating, right? I'll work on this just for 5 minutes. I don't have to complete the entire project. I don't have to complete even like a page or whatever, just 5 minutes and commit to this just for 5 minutes. And yesterday I shared how like I had a meeting yesterday at 1 p.m. and Thursday like I had to prepare for that meeting. I had to prepare a document for that meeting and I was procrastinating all morning long. It was on my mind and following the 5 minute rule. I made it. I
Abs-
just sat down and yeah, it took me 30 minutes, not 5 minutes. But once I was in motion, it was so like I was flowing, like amazing.
Absolutely. And once you get started, almost always you keep going. The hardest part is to fight that resistance, that inertia that's stopping you from going, whatever the fear, I think we talked about the fear or whatever it is that stops you from going. Fight that, get started, tell yourself it's only 5 minutes, and after 25 minutes, half an hour, your task is finished.
Yeah, you're so right. And my example is that we are like once we start, it's so easy to continue. And even if you stop at the 5 minutes, it's still okay. So if there's something you've been putting off, those sales calls, the outreach to people, going to the gym, like sending an email. So um, give yourself 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. That's it. Tell yourself, I'll do it. 5 minutes. I work on these 5 minutes. And again,
Absolutely.
as I mentioned, like if you want to hear more about it, go back and listen to the episode because we dive a little bit deeper. But this was definitely one of the biggest insights and a great reminder for me as well. Like I really, really like if it was not on top of my mind on Thursday, I don't know, I might have I think I'll probably have left the document for Friday just before the meeting. So good one.
Absolutely. Next, we tackle perfectionism. We talked extensively about perfectionism and how it cripples advancement. So many of us get stuck in overanalyzing and tweaking and adjusting rather than execution.
This one. Yeah, like especially with high achievers, right? When you think about like we're high achievers, and one of the things we shared was the 80% rule, where like the 80% rule is like 80%, when you're 80% ready, you ship. You don't
Yep.
aim for perfection. And this especially like this thing applies, like I know sometimes it's easy when we talk about um, software development, things like this, it's a little bit easy in these terms, like okay, you have 80% of the features, go. Like the other
Mm,
20% you might not even need to add them, right? Like
mm,
it's important to get the feedback from people, from your customers, so you know that you're actually on the right track. So aim for good enough and then
mm,
refine later, because again, once you put it out there, you actually get the real feedback and you know that, oh, okay, this is working, this is not working, I need to change this or change something else. So this was actually one of my favorite things from this episode.
mm. And what helps with this, Anna, is my favorite, the one take rule. If you're writing an email, recording a podcast, whatever it is, preparing a proposal, whatever it is doing, allow yourself one revision and then send it. Don't get stuck in this endless loop of revision, 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 and then you're going to make mistakes and you're going to end up with the worst product that you had at the 80%.
Oh, this one I also love this one. Yeah, the one take. It's like it's a great one as well because it's really tangible and helps us move forward. And if you think about like when I'm thinking about the conversation we had to for overcoming perfectionism, the biggest point we want to make is that progress beats perfection. Done is better than perfect. And if you need to remind yourself why, again, the episode is there, but done means that you'll have it out there. And again, as I said, you get real feedback. Perfectionism is only in your head, right? So
Absolutely.
if you need a reminder about this one, if this is something that you are struggling with, trying to perfect things before you put them out there, I highly recommend go and watch the video, listen to the episode wherever you are joining us, whether it's YouTube or one of the podcast platforms. Go there and
Mm,
catch this episode, the full episode.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. What else did we talk about this week? Let me see.
Um,
Oh, um,
the most
we
important one.
yeah. So we talked about habits, right? Like some key habits, and one of them was the 80/20. And I know, Joris, you've been listening to some books recently. So the 80/20 habit, which don't confuse it with the 80% rule with 80% done, right?
No.
The 80/20 is, you've heard it as the Pareto principle, right? And this episode, like, we were focusing on talking about the activities, the small number of activities actually that drive the biggest results in your business.
Mhm. Absolutely. And the 80/20 rule or the Pareto rule, as you mentioned, states that the 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. What we talked about in our episode was the important thing is to identify your high impact tasks and eliminate the noise, the distractions. Focus on those 20% high impact that gives you the 80% result. And as you keep mentioning, Anna, and I love it, the ones that actually move the needle.
Yeah, the ones that move the needle. And then
Yeah.
like everything else, like we talked in the episode, but everything else, the low impact ones, you either automate, delegate, or completely delete. Some of them, like we are doing them just because we love doing it, not because it is actually necessary.
Mhm.
And some of the other things we mentioned, I think, was batching your work, right? Like doing things certain days, like in terms of like focusing, planning, right? Of course, planning for the day and knowing, okay, this is the task that's the most important, like the 20%, and then batching your work, making it like okay, the first hours or this morning I focus on these activities, then the next morning I'll focus on others. It was a great episode, if I say so myself.
Mhm. Absolutely. And so if you're spending too much time on things that don't matter and don't are irrelevant to your business, go watch this episode. You will really, really help you move things forward with stuff that you're stuck with. You will move them forward. You will not regret it.
Oh yeah. It's really like all of the episodes this week were fantastic, and like when we talk about habits and routines, like this is so important because we are what we do every day, like it or not. Like, and success is not one big thing we do once in a while. I think it was Steve Martin who said that his overnight success took him 10 years, right? It took him 10
Yep.
years to become an overnight success. So,
Success. Yeah.
and one of the
Absolutely.
things we were chatting about this week as well was evening habits to set
Hmm.
yourself up for success for the next day, to set the tone for how you start your morning. And it's fascinating the way that how we start and end the day, like how we start and end the day, these two are linked together, but then how we end today and how we start tomorrow is also like they're also linked.
Linked. Absolutely. And this is why if you end your day on a positive note and you get a good night's sleep and you next morning you wake up and you the three most important things that you have to do already is already listed and documented and you know exactly what you're doing. You have slept worry free, you wake up worry free, and all of your energy goes towards execution of those tasks, the 20% that gets you there.
And when we talked, it was yesterday we talked about this one, so it might be
Hmm.
fresh, especially if you were listening to the episode. But like the habits that we discussed were just to summarize it, like the 5 minute wrap up, right? Like just look at the day and okay, what are the things that I did? Check mark, check mark, check mark. And in planned order, this is what we have as well, like this evening routine where you go and say, okay, what did I accomplish today? And then plan tomorrow. Like what is the things that what are the things I want to do tomorrow? And if something I didn't do today, like is it moving for to tomorrow, or is it going to the day
Hmm.
after, or maybe week after, because things change, right?
Hmm.
And so do the 5 minute daily wrap up, uh, prioritize like for the next day, whether it's top three, top five, up to top six, I would say. This is what I've heard. Like after that, like it's not really productive.
Priority anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tidying up your space, right? Your workspace, like it can also help because
Hmm.
clutter around us, it impacts us.
Yeah.
So it just clearing things up a little bit, like closing your notebook for the day, things like this. Setting the digital boundaries, right? And one of the things I mentioned was for me closing the laptop, and this is it. No notifications, nothing. And the last part where I tested it yesterday. It didn't work very well. Like it's really hard, right? But just before bed, actually, what you do just before bed, like giving yourself that 30 to 60 minutes to not be in front of a screen, so you can
Mm-hmm.
really relax. Uh, Unfortunately, I couldn't do this yesterday. I did
Mm-hmm.
watch something very relaxing and nice, but it was still
Mm-hmm.
in front of a TV.
Yeah. I usually have 30 seconds or else I will pass out. So I don't really have a routine. I have to rush to bed and just make sure I put my head on the pillow before I pass out. So, you know, so I don't really need a routine, but it's the before, yeah, it makes a big difference. We feel like we don't need a routine. We feel like we sleep because just because we fall asleep quickly doesn't mean we have a good night's sleep. How we fall asleep is dictates how we wake up. And if you've been feeling scattered in the morning, this episode will be a game changer for you. Watch the episode, pick up the habits, implement one or two of them, and see how that changes.
I second this. Listen to that episode for sure. Um, so yeah, these were the things that we covered this week, like talking about, and of course we started the week actually on Sunday talking about the importance of habit, the powers of habits. So go if you haven't listened to this one as well, go listen to this. And this is the wrap up for this week, right? A week on habits and
Mhm.
routines.
Yep.
And here is a weekly challenge we want to share with you. So if you are up, do this. Pick one habit from this week, like whether it's breaking the habit of procrastination, right, of perfectionism, breaking the habit of
Yeah.
perfectionism, whether it's setting a habit in the evening, like how you end your day or just before you go to bed, or if it's the habit of focusing on what really matters, right? Pick one, like one, no, not two, not three, not 10, pick one, and then start applying it. So for the next 7 days, start applying this one. And let us know how it goes. You can comment here on this video if you are watching this on YouTube, or like you can DM us. Or, like we are on LinkedIn, Plandor on LinkedIn. Leave a comment, share your progress in our community. Send us an email, whatever you prefer. Give us a call,
Yeah,
whatever you
absolutely.
prefer. Let us
Yeah,
know how it goes. One thing, like one thing, whatever it is, pick one thing, apply it
start
for
with
the
one
next
thing.
7 days, and let us know how it goes.
Yeah, and remember, small habits lead to big changes. That one thing may be a small thing, but you'll see the changes that it brings with consistently applying it and checking the result and reapplying it.
I love the idea of small things, and it's so easy to miss it, right? It's like it's so easy to ignore it
Mm.
because this is the thing that uh, both ways, whichever way we go, like whether it's with the good habits or the bad habits, those small things, they actually compile over time. And this was one of the things that I think it was in one of the Darren Hardy videos, like or in the book, like in the Compound Effect book, where he was saying, if you had a heart attack like 5 minutes after eating fries, you wouldn't eat fries, right? But it takes eating burger and fries every
For
day
decades.
for a decade before you have that heart attack, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and that's why like, it's easy to ignore the small things. It's easy to ignore the simple things because they're not flashy and the results are not immediate. They take time. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, with LinkedIn, I've heard that it takes 3 to 6 months of consistent engagement, consistent posting to start seeing results on LinkedIn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
it takes time, it takes effort, but this is the beauty though. Like small thing, a small habit you start implementing today, a year from now you look back and you'll be like, oh wow, I've achieved so much. So highly
Absolutely.
recommend not just listening, apply, apply, apply. We are applying as well with you. Like we are human, we are on our own growth journeys, and
Mm-hmm.
as we share, we apply some of these things in our own lives. And actually, to set an example, the one that I want to focus on will be ending the day with the daily review and planning the next day. This is one thing that I will focus on for the next week. It's been on my mind for a while, so this is my commitment.
Love it. Let's do it together. I'll do that too.
Awesome.
All
So
right.
if our listeners and viewers, if you are wondering which one to go, you can join us and focus on this one if it's something you're not doing regularly.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for more productivity tools and strategies, go to plandor.com. As usual, subscribe, DM us. Please watch it. These are life-changing habits and life-changing videos, and what we're sharing with you. We have lived this and we know the results. So hopefully you'll take advantage of that.
Yeah, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know if there is anything you actually want us to talk about and share, like it's something on your mind. We'd love to do this. And until tomorrow, when we're starting a new week and a new type of conversation. So we'll see you tomorrow
New
morning,
subjects.
most likely at our usual time, tomorrow morning,
Yes.
or 7:30ish, I
Earlier,
think. Yeah,
earlier,
yeah,
yes. We have to
7:30ish.
remember we drive that we have. Yeah.
Yeah. So 7:30 tomorrow morning,
Okay.
a.m. Eastern time, Canada, US time. So if you want to catch us live, Plandor channel on YouTube. We would love to see you live here. If not, enjoy listening on any of the platforms you're on. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Bye, everyone.